Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to talk a bit about my experience in the table RPG community, both as a player and a GM. I started playing table RPG at about mid 2019, where we started with very loose rule system. Because it was his first time and we just went with, let's combine D&D with death battles. And it went pretty fun in the beginning, but we realized kind of early on that this system doesn't really work long term because it's too loose and each character has a different way of leveling up, getting powers. So we decided to okay, if we're gonna do this, continue doing this, we're gonna need a rule system that actually keep us better in line together and has like one way of doing things. Like so all characters are the same when they level up, advance, stuff like that. So one of my friends in this little group, we are 3 people, had Savage Worlds. So we started with that, and he was the first GM in our official campaign. So and it was really fun, and we loved it all the way. And well, we tried like very like a Rift campaign, so it was a bit. It was extremely fun, but I think he thought it was a bit too much work. And also, like early on, he told like he doesn't want to be the only GM in our group if we're gonna continue this. So me as a sport and actually very curious to try to do it myself since I love creating both worlds and characters. So I can give it a shot. So I created a high fantasy campaign called Scarvalho, where basically Lord of the Ring meets the Wild West. And it's been fun so far. Some slip outs because I am new at the GM stuff, and like we're all taking turns, like we're teaching ourselves, we're learning while we grow up, and so this my first campaign was more like a test game, so it was more like we see how I do and what I can improve, stuff like that. And one of what I learned as a GM mostly in my first campaign was I tend to create way much more than I actually have to. So for instance, like I noticed my players characters didn't really like seem to interact. I thought it was like okay, I didn't make enough characters that was intriguing to talk to, but it was more like they played characters that was not sociable. But I missed that cue, even I should have not. So then ended up I created, I think when we actually start talking about it and discussing how we both all felt about my campaign, I created over 50 characters, and that was just NPCs, and it was no important NPCs. I think, yeah, about 50 regular NPCs, 20 semi-important NPCs, and about 10 very important ones. And I said, like, you create too much. You don't have to do it. And for me, it was more like I didn't quite get in until we just started talking. Like, oh, okay, shit. I should have realized like what the character's about because they told me about it, but I somewhat missed that. And also, like, most of my monsters I hyped up thanks to the dice was good for my players ended up being basically pushovers, which made me like, oh, I need to create stronger. They are too strong. I need to make stronger. When I'm making me an almost a small army of unbeatable swamp monsters, and they were novice level 3 in Savage Worlds system, and my monsters were basically even hard to for a legendary Savage World character to beat. We had to make me step back and realize, okay, I need to redo stuff, and we managed to finish the first season of Scarvario pretty much really good and had enough good for it. Like, okay, something happened, big battle, and now we ended that decision what you take like a year off as a vacation, traveling around the world, your country to see stuff. So now when season 2 happened, hopefully this year, I have started to work on it. Do I have another campaign I'm currently doing with them? That's just a survival campaign, basically. But anyway, like, I'm better prepared now for season 2, and I have stuff ready, and the storyline and the hook plots are better suited, definitely. And I would say my experience as a player is like, I think it gets one of the most new players I really go into. Like, I kind of are stuck with a certain type of character. Not because I don't try like all different characters, but like, I have realized as a whole, I'm better with the close combat characters. So I'm more in for action being clever and smart character. Not to say like I'm not have intelligence, but like I'm really more like the adventurer that'll really like to go and punch the enemy and try to figure out, okay, how to solve this without violence, basically. And but having two GMs in one group has also got my light on how different we are with creating worlds. And my friend who is my GM a couple of times, and then his GM other times, he likes to do very much historical accurate world build to his campaigns, which is cool and nice and very understandable. Like, if you take like a campaign that's in back in the days, like, he tries like reading to like, okay, what makes sense in this time of era. So like, one of our shorter campaigns was basically, I think, around the World War II eras, like in the 1940s. And he really tries like, okay, what would the technology be around this time? The uniforms, how would like the country we were playing in would be in? So, and we were like in America because we played like, I think there was a Marvel version of this, and had some horror monsters coming from old classic horror movies. So yeah, it was Marvel mixed with some old-fashioned horror movies, which was like, I love the campaign, definitely. And I wish it was longer, and hope we can revisit that campaign sometimes, so just continue that, because it was awesome, and I had so many ideas that I couldn't do, but I wish I can continue one day. We'll see. Otherwise, I try to take those ideas into other campaigns, of course. The difference between him and me, though, is when I create worlds, I'm very loose with how the technology is and stuff like that. And it's definitely like, in my current campaign with the survival, I pitched them as, is this very like, you're still an let's see now, migrate people, like, you have not started building cities and camp, you're still following where basically the food source go. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word, so I would not even try, because I'm really bad with pronunciation sometimes. You will learn that while keep watching me. I will try to do my best in the future to get the words correctly and even the longer words, but if I do, I do not like. I would probably say most of them wrong. Anyway, so like I gave them both first and last name for all the NPCs, which normally in that era is not really things. They got like, and I wanted to already have started like beginning to test with like farming and stuff, because this is still a fantasy place. Like dwarf and elves do exist, and orcs and goblins, but you're still in that age when you barely have like started to create a society. Still migrate, follow the herd. Like you, all humans in this world, like twice a year, do a long journey, essentially. And I get them like farms, like I get them better tools. I get them. Secondly, I get them a mix of being still caveman and slightly near to the Renaissance world side of technology. We did learn like bronze become before iron, so that was like. But here was like this but problem of mostly happens either. Since technically my worlds doesn't make logical sense by the time period in like our history. That kind of clashes with the with my friend's way of doing his world creating. And he's like he tried to help definitely, and that's all thing he want to do is help me to like realize this make not really sense in this time area. And like when I start listening to like first I patient and the talk, I'm starting, and this is most of my kind of anxiety kicking probably, but I started to get like frustrated and panic because now I have to redo. I created this good world and like I have, but here it makes some logic in my head. The one thing I probably should have said during the time when he was correcting the time period of my choices and this where this don't make logical sense was telling, well, we're not in our universe. We are in a different universe. Well, the timeline's been different or altered. And that's a good experience to also like learn. Like we're trying both to help each other, even our third friend that is also mostly his player. Like we are trying to like teach each other and learn each other, but like know that like how different we are with creating worlds. There was a slight clash there. We have talked about it. We have solved the problem. So like, and I have promised that next time I'm doing a campaign that I'm actually trying, I would tell him if I'm trying to get more accurate with the time period of our history, or I'm doing a world which I'm just gonna mash things together because I think this sounds fun. But there's like, so that has been my experience so far, and I like just been playing for about 5 years. So I did decent long, but I still feel like new. So it's like I'm still have just done 2 campaigns as a GM. We have like 4. I think he had done 4 campaigns and about 3 one shots, if I remember correctly. But also like as a players, like in a way of just being players, like I said, like we have 3 different versions of players as well. One is my GM. He likes a decent, like he creates stuff and he creates a decent size of backstory for his characters, which is good size, like almost like a page one. And our other friend, he creates a character and he might do a slight backstory. Sometimes it makes longer, sometimes it makes shorter, but it's sort of short and sweet basically. because he likes it and he doesn't see it like more. And then we have me, who is so much into loving creation. Like, I can spend 1 week just creating a backstory for my character. And then if I add family members and friends into that backstory, I stay another 3 weeks just making their backstories, basically. And when my creation thoughts begin, I have a hard time stopping. So sometimes I actually ask my friends, like, just check me a couple of times, because like even right now I have just bought a cyberpunk book for Savage Worlds, and I'm creating. I even had to ask them, am I crazy? One of them says no, the other one says a bit off your rockets, but keep going. It's something you love to do, so you do it, which is just fine. But sometimes I like just need that little check, like okay, you're doing all this, but is it something you're gonna be able to play one day, or are you just doing this for fun? That's sometimes what I need as a check. But that's been my experience so far with the table RPG, and hope you like this video. And if you do, please hit like, subscribe if you want to see more of me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.